Hello, this is Group 5 with the Tempradoor. This is what our Arduino code looks like. So for our first block, we are defining the card values using hexadecimal, as you can see here. These are all hexadecimal values. The first chunk here is just going to read the cards and compare them for later. These cards will, like for our sandbox version, we will just be assigning them a valid or invalid state. Currently, both cards are assigned to valid, although we can change that at any time. These are just some values that we'll be using throughout our code. Our next text block here, or tech code block here, we'll be setting up serial connections between the devices. We have to make sure that all of our devices are set on baud rate for 9600. And this will be useful for gaining connection between the Arduino, the temperature sensor, and the card reader. Sorry, my bad. Um, Following block is checking the status of the card. We are scanning the card and making sure the card is there. Do we connect with the card? Is it a valid card? Can we read what the card is? Um, Followed up, we have used some of the built-in library to change what the names on the cards were. That is on a different file. But this block here currently will check the card to see if there is a name assigned to the card. If the card is or does have a valid first name saved to it, we proceed to our for loop, which will then print out what the first name assigned to the card is. This here is a conditional if, which will make sure it doesn't surpass more than 32 spaces, because one of our earlier programming bugs was creating a massive amount of spacing, which was then creating issues when we were trying to save the data to the SQL database. Um, Followed up, similarly, we have a code block here which will check to see if there is a valid last name saved to the card. And if the last name is valid, or if there is a last name assigned, we jump to our for loop, which then prints the last name out as well. Um, Following this, we have our print statement for the ID of the RFID card. This print statement will check to see what the scanned RFID card number is and print it out if it is detected. If it's not detected, it will throw an error. But that was up more in our code. Followed by, and lastly, we have our card status, which will print whether or not the card that was scanned was valid or invalid. Currently, both cards should print valid, but eventually this will be changed to implement a temperature lock depending on whether, or maybe even a status lock of whether or not the person has already been denied access, has been denied access within a certain range, or has a temperature of a specific condition, whether it be CDC guidelines or building guidelines. So yeah, that's basically all we have now. Um, and yeah, I don't know.